Hey all, welcome to my channel. Please like this video if you like it. Please leave some comments. I do read my comments. If you have any questions, leave in the comments. I try to answer them to the best of my abilities. Uh, Even if, especially if it's on the subject matter. In this situation, though, for what I'm going to be talking about, I don't have that much expertise, but it's going to be an interesting aspect. Um, Chat GPT. Um, Everyone's freaking out about it. It's surprised. It's really, really impressive. I mean, it was like mind blowing when I saw it, how it worked and such, and like now you're having APIs going into it and such. It's really impressive. Creating your own chatbots as well on top of it would be great. And Google is freaking the hell out of it because of the fact of how good and well ChatGPT is compared to Google itself. And I don't know how Google actually competes with it at that point. I think I had a video somewhere in the past of discussing like Google should be freaking out about ChatGPT. But now the thing is, it's like Bing, Microsoft's version of Microsoft's online search tool. They're incorporating ChatGPT into Bing. Um, it's gonna be a real surprise if it works out really well, depending on how well it integrates well into Bing. But if it does do what we think it can do, do not be surprised from a lot of people moving away from Google into Bing at that point. I mean, don't be surprised with Bing and any of the web search engines that are out there now. That DuckDuckGo. I think Mozilla has their own version as well of that, and Proton is trying to create their own version as well too. But mostly DuckDuckGo. But if it succeeds with Bing, people will probably shift off to Bing a little bit, and then don't be surprised DuckDuckGo incorporating at that point as well too. Even Brave for that matter. But reality is like it's going to be a game changer if this works really well. If Microsoft can execute this really well, incorporating ChatGPT into Bing, it will drive a hell of a lot of people away from Google into Bing at that point because of the accuracy and the accuracy is one aspect, but the other aspect is like the way it's so natural that Chat GPT works, that it'll come back into a natural form with Bing at that point. And if that's the aspect, then you'll see Google scrambling, and mind you, when Google scrambles, sometimes they do really well at that point as well too. Um, that they'll incorporate something similar to a Chat GPT, like of their own nature, and incorporate it into their Google search engine, and which is what they're doing right now. We can see that they're doing that right now. Once they saw Chat GPT and how really impressive it was, they're like, damn, we have to like focus on this now and like get our business into this aspect of like something similar to ChatGPT. Microsoft, that ChatGPT, because it's part of the Open AI initiative. It's going to be really really impressive if it does work out really well and gets incorporated really well. Other people are starting to use open, ChatGPT for like certain things. How they're writing it for like their SEO engines in a way, or modifying for SEO engines, as well as like writing up proper slide decks and such. I mean, like nowadays, more people were afraid because of high school students and college students using ChatGPT for like plagiarism, basically, like to discuss about reports and such, that it can generate those reports for you. Um, Now in this situation, like, people are using it for this, and don't be surprised if like using it for like your virtual assistant at that point as well too. I mean, there were a lot of companies that were doing a lot, creating their own virtual assistants. This one by far exceeds ChatGPT by far exceeds all of them basically, and like be uh, do not be surprised within this year you'll see a lot of these virtual assistant companies dying out because of ChatGPT, unless they incorporate ChatGPT and then offer a much better revenue model at that point. Um, but again, the same thing is with like Bing themselves incorporating that, it's gonna be a game changer. I will not be surprised if that happens, where Google, of course, themselves basically, um, you know, yeah, Google themselves basically incorporating their own thing at that point as well too. To be quite honest, it's just really surprising how impressive it is. To be quite honest, it's how like um, I'm just using ChatGPT right now. Um, it's wow, it's really, really, really impressive. Um, I was just asking about like what stock should I invest in? It's like going off like say hey research into your own thing, diversify. It's basically talking about investment and such basically, which is impressive. Anyways, like I said, ChatGPT being incorporated in Bing, do not be surprised that Bing steals a lot of market share from Google people that use Google until Google comes back and regains dominance. I mean, like let's put it this way: Siri came out as well as Alexa, and Google didn't have their own voice assistant at that time. It was still working under Works. Siri came out, incorporated into the phone. Google's like, oh crap, we have to do this too now. So they focus on there. Same thing with Alexa. Google created the Google Mini, Google Home, basically, which is basically the Google AI voice assistant, and it's become the predominant one now at this point. It's become the most predominant one compared to Siri and Alexa and Cortana for that matter too, and Bixby. So rankings now, it was there, and then it just became number one because Google focused on it and they realized the voice assistant is the biggest thing. Do not be surprised with the voice assistant being incorporated with the sim aspect of like Chat GPT. This is the thing what I was going to say basically is like with if Microsoft executes really well, really well with Bing and Chat GPT, don't be alarmed that Cortana, they try to incorporate Cortana to Chat GPT as well too, to the point where like Cortana, if that works really well too, that voice assistant might become predominant, and Amazon might shift focus and start using Chat GPT as well too, incorporating it to Alexa at that point as well too, which will then freak out, of course, Microsoft. I mean, not Microsoft, Google. Freak out Google at that point because the voice assistants is a big thing that they have. They can get target certain ads to you based on when you're asking certain things to it, basically and such. So don't 2 years from now, this might be a moot point. It might be a case where hey, Google's gotten much more bigger in the open AI world compared to Chat GPT and such. But with that, I'll just leave it at that. Let me know your thoughts on that. What do you think? Will ChatGPT change Bing and actually take some market share away from Google search, basically? And do you see Cortana incorporating, if this works really well with Bing? Do you see Microsoft incorporating Cortana with ChatGPT? And then if that works really well, maybe seeing Alexa and Siri doing that as well too, with Apple doing that. Or Apple trying to create their own at that point as well too. Let me know your thoughts and give me your feedback on that. And of course, please subscribe if you want to subscribe. With that, I'll leave it at that. Until next time.